October is Domestic Violence Month, and WSAV is keeping our promise to bring awareness and solutions for victims in need.
That's right, Ben. And while physical abuse may break your bones, there's other types of abuse that are meant to break your spirit. And today, we're going to talk about emotional abuse, the forms it can take, and the damage that it can cause. Please take a moment and watch. The term domestic violence often makes people think of physical assault, but that's not always the case. There's other harmful behaviors that many people don't recognize as abuse.
I think that emotional abuse is one of those. It's very broad and sometimes is so subtle and so covert that people just don't know.
Emotional abuse is a subtle form of manipulation, and it comes in many forms. The primary motivation for abusers is to gain and maintain control of the victim.
The abuser wants to control the victim, meaning he wants that victim to totally depend and rely on him or her, depending on the situation.
Doretha Rice from Safe Shelter in Savannah says perpetrators use demeaning behaviors to beat down a victim's self-esteem.
Emotional abuse usually be when a victim states that their abuser is belittling them, name calling them out of their names, and basically just using that as a form of manipulation.
Abusers do this because a person with a weakened spirit is easier to control. Other manipulative behaviors include name-calling, hypercriticism, isolating the victim, and excessive jealousy or possessiveness. The tactic abusers use most often is called gaslighting. This involves telling lies specifically designed to mess with the person's head. Mary Hubbard of Shrink Savannah explains why it's effective.
Well, it denies the person's reality, and then in turn makes them feel crazy, right? And then they're really confused.
Once again, a confused person is easier to control. Victims may begin to slowly develop feelings of shame, hopelessness, and fear. They may be in denial that they're being abused or think they can deal with it.
Because the person isn't physically hurting them, they think it's okay and allow it to go on.
That's when a victim may begin to experience anxiety or depression, insomnia, isolation, and shame. If this situation continues, the conditions can turn into long-term psychological damage like post-traumatic stress disorder.
If a victim is experiencing emotional abuse, it can lead to psychological abuse. This is when you step into the realm of mental health. Our clients, we've noticed that they experience forms of depression, meaning forms of PTSD.
The Office on Women's Health says prolonged exposure can have harmful effects on the brain and body. A victim can develop chronic pain or sustain damage to the nervous system. Mentally, they can spiral down into a dark and dangerous place. Advocate Karen Alston knows how bad it can get because she's been there.
They become suicidal. They get to the point where they say, "This is what I said. I'd rather die than to be alive and live it in hell."
Emotional abuse is dangerous, but there are things a victim can do at home to take steps toward recovery. The National Domestic Violence Hotline says eating and sleeping well keeps the brain sharp. Walking or just having some fun has been shown to reduce stress and release dopamine, which can counteract depression. Having a safe exit plan and a support system can help a victim take action when the time is right. And finally, seeking professional help through therapy and support groups.
A lot of times we're just seeing these victims come in presenting with PTSD, with major depressive disorder, all different types of anxiety disorders. And then after peeling away a little bit, then we can really see what's been going on with this person.
Emotional abuse is never the fault of the victim. Advocates say victims should seek help when they're ready in whatever way they feel comfortable. Remember, any type of abuse is serious, and no one deserves to experience it.
There is hope, and there are people that believe you and want to genuinely help you be safe.